this game, yeah. Low. What's up, man? Trying to get a no miss for the channel. I did another one offline while I was taking a break. So it'd be like my third one today. Just want to get one on tape. So I'm local recording right now. Blocking the wrong way. fight. Could have gone a lot faster, but some bad luck there. Enemies were not wanting to stay on one side, which, you know, in beat-em-ups, that's like #1 priority. You put everybody on one side. This game actually makes it pretty hard to do that sometimes. Fast enemies, the rats you can't grab. What's up? What's up, Dan? Yeah, I'm going for my no-miss run, which I've already done like 5 times. I just don't have one on tape. I'm trying to get one on tape. Damn gun guys, man, I hate them. I do superhero. I tried legend and just felt like it took too long for things to die. Superhero no miss. It's pretty much all I really want to do on this game. I just like playing this game. I just like playing it, so fine with me. And I'm not getting paid to play this. Just playing it because I like it. Really, I haven't gotten paid to play anything on here, really. Not a single game. Pretty much just try to keep it real. I'm obviously capable of doing it. If I could beat the game on the second hardest difficulty without dying, I'm obviously capable of doing it. It's just... it feels like the pacing kinda... it doesn't drop off a cliff, but I just don't like it. It's like the perfect length for me at like 40 minutes. Good fight. Well, as somebody who's a moderately successful content creator, I'll tell you, there have been things that they try to get me to pay to play, but I just don't like those games. You know, they're not my kinds of genres, or... I mean, to be completely honest, they don't look good, and I don't like to ruin my integrity doing that stuff. It's really only happened like once or twice, but I just don't want to do that. I'd love it if somebody would give me a sponsored deal to play something I actually want, but anybody in the content creator business will tell you it's hard to get that kind of thing. I just play what I like. Which I think is why people like my channel, is I'm not a sellout. I mean, I need help with like donations and stuff, but you're not gonna find me with a thumbnail, my mouth open, promoting something I clearly do not like. Try to keep it legit. Yeah, my rule of thumb with watching other people's content is if their mouth is open, I'm not clicking on it. That's like my rule of thumb. It's always been that way. If their mouth is open, looks like you could Photoshop a burger in there or something, I'm not clicking on it. Period. Try to fake excitement and shit. Like, nah, man. I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. I hate this. This encounter in particular sucks. These guys gotta go. That's the thing, though, like, almost none of them do that. It's to take advantage of gullible people who can't seem to notice that they don't fucking care about whatever they're promoting. Just trying to make a quick buck. Fuck. No, I wanted to get the food. I hate that about this game. See, right by the level boundary, it just doesn't let you move. I hate that. That's one thing I don't like about this game. That really bothers me. Not like AVP or Fight and Rage where, you know, it gives you time to, like, pick shit up. You don't have that in this game. Luckily, there's a health here. Yeah, I do that when enemies are already knocked down. I try to group them all together. I use that a lot. Damn Call of Duty protagonist, I hate you. Every ounce of my being. I have no bar. There's the food. Get it. Bad fight. There we go, no miss. Shitty fight, though. That's one of my worst fights I've done. GG. No miss. Got it on tape. I think I'm recording. Yeah, I sure am. Nice. Oh, good. It's like the 5th time I've done that, but the first time I have it on tape. Hey, this game is legit. Oh, wow. #1 time. Not bad. Well, I've beaten this game like 4 times today, so I think it's time to play something else. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching. If you're watching the VOD. Thanks for watching. Alright, there we go. Aren't I like the same age as you? You're calling yourself old, man. Come on. I can't be like more than like 2 or 3 years older than you, tops. I'm an old fart too. Been doing this for a long time. Alright, well that's enough mayhem for today. No pun intended. Glad that only took one attempt. I don't know if I felt like doing another one today. I guess I'll just play some other stuff now. I guess I'll upload that after I'm done tonight. Oh, okay. How much of a difference does it make? Isn't Dolphin like the best character? Because Dolphin actually feels like a busted, slow character. He feels like Streets 2 Max. Or Streets 4 Max. Max in general. It's like one of the few, like, slow characters that's actually the fastest. I think they did a really good job with him, because normally in beat-em-ups, slow character is usually the worst. Like, they're just too slow, or they don't have the utility that the faster characters do, and they don't do enough damage to really compensate. But Dolphin can still run at, like, light speed, and he does insane damage. And he has the Haggard Pile Driver, too, so... Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about Mayhem Brawlers. They really perfected how to make a slow-ass character and, like, actually make him good. Because, like, 90% of beat-em-ups, they're usually terrible. I'd say, Streets 2, Streets 4, like the main, and Mayhem Brawler, are like the main ones I can think of right now, where that's a major exception to that rule. The first one was pretty much Streets 2 Max, because he actually is the fastest character. Like, he walked slow as molasses, but the Thunder Tackle lets him basically teleport across the screen. And he does insane damage too, so like for speedruns and stuff, he is the fastest character. I think they did a really good job with balancing him too. Even though, despite how old that game is, it probably was not intentional, but... It's just weird how many beat-em-ups there were between Streets 2 and Streets 4, and like, the slow guy is usually awful. Like, you just feel like you're disadvantaged. Yeah, but Dolphin is like, he's really close to that, though.
Fight.
I mean, he can run, so...
Mystic Force! Slipstream, over here!
You have failed.
Slipstream! Shall we dance? Follow my lead! Here's the finale! Slipstream! Out of Slipstream! Out of Slipstream! Over here! Shall we dance? Follow my lead! Here's the finale! Present for you! Present for you! Shall we dance? Follow my lead! Here's the finale!
I didn't play Remake. I tried playing Remake, it just felt so janky. I feel like with...
Every frog has its day.
I feel like with Streets 2X out, like, I just don't see a reason to play Remake. Streets 2X is way more up my alley. I tried playing the Vita port, but then people in your Discord, the Brawlers Discord, said that the version they did for that port is like worse or something. I've known about that game since it got cease and desisted like 10 years ago. I just never got around to playing it. But now that Streets 2X is out, it's like I still don't care to play it. What exactly is wrong with the game? Can you elaborate? Because I don't know.
Time for some extra wolf power. Hunto!
Overhead. Slipstream. Overhead. Slipstream. Out of stop. Slipstream. Overhead. Slipstream. Out of stop. Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale. Over here! Out of sight! Over here! Shall we dance? Follow my lead!
This is it.
Here's the finale! See ya! Slipstream! Out of sight! Slipstream! Over here! Out of stop! Shall we dance? Follow my lead! Here's the finale!
Yeah, it got cease and desisted pretty much right when it went up, back in 2011.
For a good fight. Thanks. Next time,
And
let's make it a
the
great-
internet did not take that lightly, because at the time, nothing was being done with the Streets IP at all. Besides mobile ports and, you know, characters being put in like mobile games and shit, and things like Project X Zone a couple years later, there was nothing. Now, normally when a company does that, it means that they have something coming for that franchise or IP that they feel is a threat. They did that with AM2R. AM2R is still piss easy to find. It's all over the internet. It's still being updated. The guy who made it, he actually got a job off that game. So I mean, he's fine. He doesn't work on the game anymore, but the community still works on it. What we found out is later that year, it was either that year or the next year, Samus Returns came out. So that tells you that the reason why they cease and desisted it was not just Nintendo stuff. It's like, you know, a big corporation picking on, you know, somebody releasing something for free with their IP. It was because they were doing literally the same thing. Now, most people seem to agree that AM2R is better than Samus Returns for a multitude of reasons. But the issue was that it was a direct threat to what they were trying to do, an official remake. Most people seem to prefer AM2R, but as soon as they announced that, it became obvious why they ceased and desisted it. But Streets at the time, there's nothing going on. I mean, obviously it was like 25 years between games, so back in 2011 there sure as hell wasn't anything going on either. Well, I guess the staff changed. They don't care about fan games anymore. Like, if Streets Remake came out, like, now, like, this week, they wouldn't care. As long as the people making it weren't, like, taking donations or trying to sell it or anything, they would not care. But at the time, you know, they still had old boomers, old boomers in charge and stuff who didn't understand that, you know, it's not threatening their bottom line at all. You guys were doing nothing with it. That's why the remake came out, was because people who grew up with it started to get to an age where they could make games themselves. And Sega sure as hell wasn't doing anything with it. That's what's weird about it, is that it, you know, generally when companies do that, it's because they feel that the remake is like it's a threat to whatever their business plans are, like a new remake or a sequel or whatever,
to give up.
some kind of new entry. But there was nothing. There was nothing for like another 10 years. So really weird of them to flex their power to do that.
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Time for action. Here's the finale.
Back off.
Formation sword.
Megazord, ready.
I need more quantum power.
Quantum divide.
Quantum displace.
Quantum displace. Nice.
I'll take care of it.
Damn it.
That looks scared to you. Airblade. Slipstream over here. Slipstream over here. Shall we dance?
Fuck.
Come on, guys. You've got this. Be right back.
Yeah, I know about the Dreamcast one that never came to be, but you can't count that. It was canceled. That was like barely like a playable alpha. And that was like 10 years before a remake too. That was back in like 2000. It had been over a decade. That does not count. I'm sure that Street Sport would have been shit though. Beat 'em up made by. Oh really? I don't have a lot of faith in them though.
Better luck next time.
They would have been able to do it. Probably would have made it 3D, or the combat would have sucked.
I'm not just any ranger.
Not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot.
Fight.
Quantum leap. Back off.
Shadow strike.
Shall we dance? Follow my lead.
Check
Here's
this
the
out.
finale.
I saw.
Alright, Tinia.
Amazing power perpetual. Shadow Saber.
Justice is served.
Just
Where's my assist? I love this game, even when I'm getting my ass kicked. My favorite degenerate video game.
is this all you've got?
Nice reset.
You have lost.
Get my shit pushed in right now.
You have.
Alright, Tinia.
Alright,
Nice. That was clean, man. I like it.
Is this all you
Like
got?
it.
I saw that. SPD.
Hate the autocorrect on that move.
Slipstream. Over here. Out of the way. Shall we dance?
I'll handle this myself.
Slipstream. Over here. Out of Slipstream. Over here. River. Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale. Morphin time.
Ooh, nice EX. Nice punish.
Quantum power.
Let's finish it. Quantum device.
Quantum device. Finish sequence.
Nice. I tried. I want to keep playing this guy. He's good.
I've got a mission, and anyone who gets in my way is gonna be sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, the alternative would be what happened with the Avengers game. Did you know that there's a there's like an analyst thing, like the Square Enix's report for the year, and in there they straight up say that Avengers is underperforming and that the team that they got was not the right fit. I'm like, well, I could have told you that, and I'm not a business major. Why did you get a single-player studio to make a service game? I mean, come on, that's like,
Sometimes the most important battle.
why would you do that? It's like getting a visual novel developer to studio to make like the next Devil May Cry. Yes, they would try their hardest, people would try their hardest, but they're not the right team. Like, what the hell did you think was gonna happen? Like, just the things that it's taken them so long to change in that game just tell you that they don't have the experience to run that kind of game. Very few people can. Look at how many mobile games there are that have like crazy IPs like Bleach and Dragon Ball and stuff. Those games still shut down. What chance does a game have when you get a single-player studio to do it? I just don't understand. Like, how does it get that far? Like, I don't have a business major. If I was in that position, it's like, let's get this single-player Tomb Raider studio to make a service game of, like, one of the most profitable IPs in the world. I'd be like, out of your damn minds, like... You guys are suits. Do you, like, not like money?
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Yeah, let's get the Animal Crossing team to make the next Doom game. Yeah, but the problem is, like, no matter how they fix that game, which I truly believe it's beyond repair. The next patch is supposed to be like a big deal, but I just think it's too little, too late. They're supposed to be fixing the rewards and making the gear more interesting in the patch next week. I don't think I'll bother to reinstall. I'll see what people say about it. Yeah, but the thing with service games is, historically, like, the only ones that have come back from complete failure and ridicule is, like, Final Fantasy XIV. That's, like, literally the only one. Like, service games live and die depending on the first impression. And service games are always going to be shitty when they come out. There's not going to be any content. The balance is going to be jacked up. There's not going to be any quality of life. But if you can get people to stick around until you make it better, then, you know, you're in the clear pretty much. But the thing about Avengers is the quality of life was terrible. You had like 9 loot slots. The optimization was bad. The load times took like a fiscal year to load anything. The gear sucked. Lots of connection issues and stuff. The game barely functioned. And the problem is it's been like over a year now and the game's it's more stable. It runs slightly better, but like the things that make it a service game that you would actually want to play and in the suit's eyes spend money are still like very lacking. You could play like a random mobile game with like no license or anything, just like random mobile game that Google recommends to you, and it probably would have like a better service game design. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was decent. The problem with that game is they had the opposite problem of Avengers. Avengers, you know, the movesets of the characters and stuff and how they're designed is very good. In most ways, the combat is the saving grace of that game. The characters are all very unique. Even the fact that they put 2 fucking versions of Hawkeye in the game, they still play very differently from each other. Like, the people designing the characters and the movesets and stuff, like, they deserve to have a better job and not attached to a game that's doomed to fail. It's just everything else about it. It's just not a good service game. But as I was saying, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, it has, like, every character you want. Like, the X-Men are back. You know, they have the Fantastic Four in there and stuff. Like, all the characters that have been missing from a lot of the other Marvel games. The problem is that they have like 50 characters in that game, and they're all very homogenized. It's really only worth playing a couple of them. A lot of the moves function exactly the same. There's like no moveset at all. You have like a square string and 1 heavy attack, and then you have like 4 moves. You don't even learn any more moves. I feel like with that game, they focused too much on the fact that they needed to have everybody in there that's, you know, because that game came out like 2 years after Marvel Infinite, so that was after the whole fiasco of, you know, characters are just functions and, you know, Captain Marvel is a replacement for Magneto. All that PR bullshit that they spewed out that ruined an otherwise pretty good game, in my opinion. I guess they felt like they had to put all those characters in, but there just wasn't enough dev time or resources or budget to really make them unique. The problem is it's like a first-party game too, so it like never goes on sale. It was fun to play for a while. The problems with that game was the frame rate was terrible, and the load times were worse. I think my Switch says I played that game for like 80 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if like 30-40% of it was waiting for the game to load. Like, I would have played that game more. Also, the loot was very, very uninteresting, too. It did share that problem with Avengers. The problem with Avengers is, like, the combat is good. The problem is that, you have, like, no hyper armor in that game at all. Like, some guy on, like, a mile away on the other side of the boundary will hit you and you stagger all the time. And it makes you feel like you're a cosplayer instead of, like, the actual superhero person. Or the old ones like that? I did play the first 2 with friends when I was younger. I don't really recall, but they definitely did have more moves. With Ultimate Alliance 3, they took, like, all of that out pretty much. I guess the suits of the company told Team Ninja, like, you know, just put everybody in there, but we're not going to give you time to, like, actually make them all worth playing. I only played, like, 8 of the characters or whatever. The rest were, like, pretty much the same. So some people that liked the old games were disappointed. The loot was very boring, too. There wasn't really anything to really grind for. You didn't unlock moves. There was nothing that, like, changed your moves or the mechanics at all. It was pretty much all just stat boosts. Well, I don't envy anybody that has to work for Marvel to make a game, because there's, like... We know from when they were making Marvel 3, Seth Killian said that Marvel had, like, Disney had, like, a bunch of bullshit protocol you have to follow to even put the character in the game. I think he said something like Doctor Strange's hands have to animate in a certain way or he won't approve it. I don't envy anybody who has to work with them. At least Team Ninja, they delivered people seem to like the game. It was mostly the technical problems that held the game back more than the roster. I mean, one thing you can say about that game is no matter what characters you liked or you had nostalgia for, most of them were in there. It's just, you know, there's probably like 8 other characters that play exactly like them, so... There's not really any interesting loot or gear to really differentiate them. I regret buying the season pass for that game, because it felt like the load times got worse, and they added the danger room, like, post-game activity, and the frame rate was at like 10 FPS, like, all the time. I actually started to feel sick playing it. Nintendo needs to do something about their hardware. That thing is... it can't run anything. I like when Nintendo fans deny... they're in denial that there needs to be better hardware. I'm like, dude, you're looking at the shit that they're putting out, right? The Sora trailer for Smash was supposed to be like this big celebration. And they're like, wait, there's more. We're gonna put the old games, we're gonna put all the Kingdom Hearts games on Switch. But then they're like, oh, they're cloud versions. I'm like, fuck that, man. I'd rather not have them at all. I don't know how they thought that was gonna go over well. It boggled my mind. Like, the whole thing about the Switch is it's a hybrid console. You can play it, like, anywhere. I play it at my kitty-sitting job. Ever since I stopped streaming over there consistently, I've cut through my backlog a lot. I really like that about it, but I don't want to buy a shitty cloud version, because I have Kingdom Hearts 3 at home. I can run that shit at 120 FPS. I'm not gonna pay $50 to stream it off somebody's server. Fuck that. I can understand Kingdom Hearts 3 needing to be a cloud version. The Switch cannot run that game, period. There's scenes in that game that would probably make the Switch, like, overheat. I get that, but you can't even be bothered to port the old games. Like, the Switch can clearly run those. Yes, gamers can be entitled and stuff, but I think even the least entitled gamer would still agree that you're entitled to an actual port of the thing, or nothing at all, instead of a cloud version. Which, depending on your lifestyle, you might not even be able to fucking use. Like, what if there's not Wi-Fi at work? Or you take the train, like, you commute. I'll tell you one thing you're not going to be doing. You're not going to be playing the Kingdom Hearts games on Switch. You're probably going to be playing, like, Monster Hunter or something. Also, you're entitled to a port of a game that works on the first day, not a month later. Which is hilarious how often that doesn't happen these days. Grand Theft Auto. I don't have any attachment to those games, but I just find that whole thing hilariously depressing. Like, dude, Ubisoft has been using the blueprint of those games to make like 50 generic, soulless open-world games for like 15 years. And you can't even give it to like a good studio. Like, what? Why was that outsourced? That's like the one thing you don't want to fuck up. It's been a pretty bad year for ports of old, like, really greatly appreciated games. Sonic Colors Ultimate port was really bad too. It's crazy how companies will cheap out on like porting stuff like that they could essentially keep reselling and make way more money than they would spend, but they still cheap out on the porting studios. They outsource it to studios that aren't right for the job, and then they have to spend all this money fixing their PR and fixing the game. Anyone wants to fucking buy it in the first place. I bought an indie game last month. It's called Critadel. Good game. I really liked it. I did pretty much everything in that game. The Switch port crashed consistently towards the end of the run. The game has no autosave. So, and it's a roguelike too. And the only progress you get is when you die or you beat the game, whichever comes first. That game did not work for like 3 weeks. I bought that. It didn't work for like 3 weeks. Like, literally does not function. Not like nitpicky stuff like it takes too long to load or there's like a random bug or something. Like, the game does not work. That's the problem with being an indie right now is you want your game to sell because it's going to get buried on Steam because there's so much shit on Steam being released like every day. It's really hard to stand out. You have to put it on Switch. But there's two problems with that. First is that the hardware sucks. And it's having a hard time even handling like indie games at this point. The other part is that if there's like a bug like that, it has to go through certification. Certification takes like at least 2 weeks in most cases. So if it's like a fatal bug like that on PC, if that had happened on there, they could have fixed it like within a couple hours, or at least a day. Like by the time they fixed it, you wouldn't even remember. But when that happens on the Switch or any console, certification makes it take forever. So nobody wants to buy the game at that point. I did a review for that game. I didn't get a sponsored key for it or anything. I bought it with my own pocket. I just tell people like, don't buy this game on Switch right now. It doesn't work. Which was sad because I really liked the game, but couldn't in good conscience tell people to buy it. But it doesn't work at all. Like how they, their apology for the Grand Theft Auto port being barely functional was, we're just gonna put the old ones back up. It's like, you're admitting that you fucked up so badly. Basically admitting that you can't fix it. You can't fix the remaster completely. So you're just gonna put the old ones back up. It's like, why did you take them off in the first place? Like, you can still buy the old version of DMC4. You can still buy the shitty DMC3 port. Even though they have the HD collection on there, like, they didn't take it down. And those ports are pretty good, so, I mean, realistically, there's no reason to have them, but... I remember last time this happened was, Cyberpunk. They had to give refunds because the game was so broken. And the last time that happened before that was Batman Arkham Knight. The PC port was so jacked up, they had to give, like, free refunds. Like, seriously, big brands, like, give the people who make your games enough time to, like, make them work. I'm glad that people are starting to clap back against that stuff, though. People aren't taking it as much anymore. It's good to see. Video game industry is, like, pretty much the only industry where they can tell you, like, okay, this doesn't work right now, but it might work in a month. But we're gonna charge you $60 for it anyway. Yeah, Definitive Edition. So definitive that they had to put the old ones back on. Cyberpunk was like everything. Cyberpunk and Batman Arkham Knight were like everything wrong with the game industry. Willingly put out something that you know doesn't work. You know it doesn't work. The game does not even meet, like, the most chill gamers' expectations. You know, the game turns on and doesn't crash. Like, you're getting to the point where there's, like, lawsuits and stuff, and, like, Sony, of all people. I don't know if you've ever tried to get a refund from, like, any of the big three publishers, but it's a real pain. Pretty much the only time they'll give out a refund, zero tolerance, is if the game is that jacked up. Being able to patch video games, I really consider it to be a blessing and a curse. It's like, it's cool that they could fix games, like, before they come out and stuff, but... or after they come out, but... the problem is now that they're willing to give you something that does not work. Completely aware that it does not work. Well, apparently the trailer that they did for Cyberpunk, like, a couple years before it came out, was complete mock-up. It wasn't even, like, what they were trying to make. I'm really weary of those, like, $70 AAA games that barely show any gameplay. Those generally aren't genres that I like anyway, but when they show, like, zero gameplay... they show, like, Keanu Reeves with his glasses on, saying welcome back or whatever the hell he says, like, that doesn't sell me. I need to see, like, what the actual game is. I bet he really hates having his name tied to that game. mean, there's always going to be bugs that pop up. Like, no game is going to be perfect at launch. It's just like with like the PS4 version of Cyberpunk, where they knew full well it didn't work. Like, unacceptable port quality. Especially for something that was supposed to be a last-gen game in the first place. That's what the main problem is. How many core points do I need? I need 2 more, so... grab this, and then this. There. I got 15 strength. Things are gonna get punched hard. I like how they changed the armor system in this. There's no more set bonuses. You just equip anything as long as you have the points. I do miss the set bonuses though. Those were fun when you got them. That's 16 strength, alright. I actually know somebody, back when Batman Arkham Knight came out, for whatever reason, he had like the magical PC components. The game worked completely fine for him. It did not crash, it didn't have the stuttering or anything. But then when they put the game back up, they basically directly said like, look, we can't fix this, so we're gonna give you a refund. They got 100% on the game and then refunded it. I would have done that too. Like, they don't deserve your honesty if they willingly put out barely functional software like that. Fuck them. I just find it hilarious. The game worked completely fine for him. And he still got a refund for it. He did like everything in that game. Yeah, buy a game that works. Oh, sorry, I had the mic muted. I wanted to record that high vault run. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Din. Play some more beat 'em ups later. I just felt like recording that because high vault with that much mobility is always really fun. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for tonight, folks. I've already streamed like 5 hours today. I think I've I think I provided enough content. I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, I guess. I just felt like coming on again for like another 2 hours or so. I was going to do another attempt of Mayhem Brawler, but I got the no miss first try, so I don't really have anything else tonight. I tried playing Grid, and I think I'm just too tired. I did like 5 beat 'em up playthroughs today. I'm exhausted. I think I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my night off and just chill. I'll go ahead and put up those 2 videos I recorded. I'll put those up. Gotta edit them and stuff. I might actually stream at my neighbor's house tomorrow or today because of the King of Fighters All-Star Guilty Gear collaboration is out, and it's surprisingly generous. I only spent like $10 on it, and I didn't get any of the characters, but they give you a lot of stuff for free. So I might play that over there. I'll see if I'm up for it, but you know how it is over there. You've heard the yelling over there in the background. Sometimes I'm sure. Sometimes it's not always a good environment. At least not for streaming. I mean, it doesn't really bother me that much, but other than that, yeah, I'll probably work on the backlog later today. So I wanted to finish Unsouled and Lee Blade, and then I think I'll do Xenoverse 2, and then maybe that Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough. I don't really want to do Streets X. I don't want to do LNS Ultimate, and I don't want to do DMC5 because all 3 of those games are getting updates. DMC5 is a mod update, but yeah. Thanks for watching.